Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to Wake Up American, where every single Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at this time, we join you in the morning, at least New York time on the East Coast of the United States, or wherever you are. Maybe you're having lunch, maybe you're having dinner, maybe you're just on break, or maybe you're even driving home from work. But what we want to do is give you some quick insights into American English every day because pronunciation is a daily practice. I don't know if you're like me, but if I miss a day when I'm studying a language, I feel it. I feel slower when I wake up the next day, and I don't want that to happen to you. So we're going to spend the next 5-10 minutes just kind of going over some sounds. This is actually a very difficult combination, or it certainly can be, which is these words. When you have like an N followed by a D, followed by an L, followed by an ER sound. So basically like an So we're going to be talking about how to pronounce this sort of situation a little bit more easily. I do want to remind you that we're going to be using the fundamentals, our four key concepts, because, for instance, haven't even introduced myself yet, by the way. My name is Jeff, rhymes with breath. Speaking of the four key concepts, breath is the second of them. We want to make sure we have enough airflow coming through, but then the first is going to be placement. So make sure that we're projecting from a lower position. Maybe we'll actually open up with some placement and breathing exercises. Then we need to worry about pitch. And then lastly, we need to make sure that our vowel sounds are strong enough because we need to weaken our consonant sounds. Those are things that can have a very negative impact on the quality of our sound. Quick hello to Shok, who has stopped by. Good to see you as always, miss. Okay, so like I said, let's actually kind of just warm up real quick with some placement, some breath stuff. So let's just start off with just like an E sound. I want you to go down with me 5 times. So it's like E, 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 E. Let's do that one more time. E, 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 E. Most likely for you, that third or that fourth one down is the one we want to use this morning as we do our exercises. The other thing we want to do is we want to practice our breath. So what I want you to do is first just put your hands on your stomach, take a big breath in, and a big breath out. And hopefully one thing you noticed is that your stomach, as you breathed in, it went out, and then as you breathed out, it went back in. To give you a model of this, let's kind of just adjust this angle. Okay, so we'll go profile. So watch my stomach here. So we're going to breathe in. See how it just expanded, and then see how it just contracted. Okay. Another quick exercise that you can do as well to kind of just make sure you're engaging your diaphragm as you talk is trying to feel our ribs. This is going crazy. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is a decent angle. Okay. So what we're doing is we're gonna put our fists on our ribs. Just kind of follow what I do. So put your fists on your ribs. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. One more time. And then see there's a lot of movement through here. Okay. That's what you're going for. That's a sign that you are engaging your diaphragm, which is key. So as we're saying things and words and sentences in American English, we want to make sure that our diaphragm's engaging, because otherwise we're just not going to have the quality of sound that is going to help us sound the most natural in American English pronunciation. So we want to make sure we're doing that. All right, so now we've done those exercises. If you have questions about anything that we just did there, be sure to let me know because we want to make sure this is clear and fundamental. Let's look again at our words. So we have handler, fiddler, spindler, swindler, manhandler. The fiddler was a swindler, snake handler. Hopefully you never need to say this in real life, this sentence. Okay, so let's start off with our very first one here. So our first word is handler, handler. So let's start off with the first half of this, hand. Okay, the tricky part of this is probably that "and" sound. This is not a normal "ah" like in cat. This sounds more like and. And one of the things you're going to do here is you're going to feel your tongue kind of sliding back a little bit. And as you do that sound, you kind of want that vowel, and then as you get to the N, you want to do a heavy breath out of your nose, like and. Then you can add the H back in, hand, hand. Then you can add that D, hand, hand. Let's now add the dark L sound. So we see that all. I do not encourage you when you're saying handle to keep the tip of your tongue up here against the top of your mouth. You can, but the danger is that you're going to block off a lot of breath and your placement's going to rise. So instead of saying handle, you end up something like handle. Okay, but you want handle, handle. Okay. And then we're going to finish with that R sound. So, try to make that sound as many times. You may be used to pronouncing your R with the tip of your tongue up here. Again, I would say experiment with trying to get your R sound down against the bottom of your mouth because we don't want That's a very closed off sound. Still a little closed off. But if I keep my tongue down and I lower my lower jaw more, see how much more open that is? It's a lot more breath. It's a lot more air coming through. So So we can put handler, 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 handler. One of the big differences you can hear between handler and handler, you can hear how much weaker the D sound is. I'm going to let you in on a secret. We have a video about this. American English doesn't actually have consonant sounds. Oh my gosh, how can that be true? There's so many consonants. But the reality is American English is really trying to weaken those consonant sounds. We don't want a heavy D. So it's not handler. A lot of times just handler, handler, handler. I'm saying that with the tip of my tongue against my bottom front tooth the entire time. Handler, handler, handler. So that's our very first word there. If you are practicing that and you have some questions for me, let me know. Our next one doesn't have the D, doesn't have the N sound, but does have those fast D sounds. So our next word here with the short I is fiddler. Fiddler. You want to be careful with that short I sound. You don't want to say feed, feed. You want to say fid, fid. This is a short I. So the very back of your tongue is down. It's also like you're kind of biting on the sides of your tongue very gently. It's like fi, fid, fid. And then we're going back to our lur sound. Lur, lur, lur. Let's just kind of talk about lur really quick. So when I'm saying lur, what I'm doing is that's again tip of my tongue is touching my bottom front tooth. Lur, lur, lur. You can see my tongue there. That's the tip of my tongue. Is just going to go down. So you see that going down. I'm just going to hold it there. So we'll start in the middle. I'm going to send it down. And lur, lur, lur. One of the things that you're going to see is that so much of the sound isn't formed here. So much of the sound is actually formed back here. Okay. So it doesn't really matter a whole lot necessarily what the front of the tongue is doing, but it can block air. So that's why we kind of want to keep it out of the way. We want to keep it down. So lur, 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 lur. That's again to my tongue against my bottom front tooth. So then we can say, let's just add the short I. Iller, 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 iller. And then we can add the F. Fiddler, 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 fiddler. Okay, when you're making the F sound, just a very light contact with that top front tooth on your lower lip. Fiddler. So, lur, idler, fiddler. Let's just do that progression a couple times. Lur, idler, fiddler. Lur, idler, fiddler. Lur, idler, fiddler. Lur, idler, fiddler. All right. Next, we're adding the N back in, just like we saw with handler, but this time it's a short I sound. So we're doing lur, inler. So now we're adding, instead of saying idler, we're saying inler, inler, because we have the ind, 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 inler. Lur, inler, swindler. Lur, inler, swindler. Lur, inler, swindler. Were, inler, swindler. Make sure you're not saying sween. Make sure you're not saying swindler. Swindler. It's swindler. Swindler. Notice that almost becomes like two syllables. Swindler. So it's not swindler, it's just swindler. Our last one is a tricky one because it has two of those and sounds we talked about earlier. If you're just joining us, go back a little earlier in the stream when we talked about handler. Okay. So we have manhandler. We have an hand. and hen. Just get those sounds right first, because if those are wrong, the whole word's going to sound wrong. I promise you. So, and hand, and hand, and hand. Again, my big suggestion: heavy breath out of your nose right before you say the N after the A. It's like and. If you only study that sound today, that's perfect, because that's one of the most difficult sounds in American English. If you can do that, you're going to sound great. Another tip for that too, just try to keep your placement down, that N. The letter N in American English, what does it sound like? What does the letter N sound like? Like if you just see this, how would you pronounce this? How would you pronounce that? The reality is, a lot of people, the way they're pronouncing it like but the real sound is like They hear a difference between and You can also do that tip of your tongue against your bottom front tooth again. Just to note, you can do that N sound with the tip of your tongue on your bottom front tooth. It'll help more air come through. So, so can we say and? Can we do that twice? And hand, and hand, and hand, and then we get to our word manhand, manhand, and then we can add the lur. Manhandler, 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 manhandler. So just a note about that. Guys, we're going to get to those sentences. You can see we have a long sentence. We're going to practice all those things, all those fun sounds. It's going to be great. I'm excited. Hope you are too. But I do want to let you know that there's only one problem with this. I can't hear you. I have no idea if you're pronouncing this right. I literally have no clue. And you're also maybe like, I don't know if I'm even doing these things right. I do have the solution for that, though. We have a group on Telegram. That's, in fact, where these words come from. So if you go to fluentamerican.com, we have a group where basically this is what the Telegram group looks like. Every day I post a challenge. So this was today's challenge. So all these words here, I'm going to be listening to the members of our Telegram group today as they say these words, and I'm going to be giving them personal feedback. I can't give you feedback because I can't hear you. But I'm going to be giving the people in the group feedback, so that way I can let them know, oh, your placement's really high. Your and sounds becoming in. Your R sound, we want to make some adjustments for. I'm going to let them know in our Telegram group what they need to do to get a more natural sound. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in, I'm super excited to say Telegram group right now for membership. It's $5 a month currently. And we would love to have you there. If you're not sure how to find it, here's a quick preview of what to do. Visit fluentamerican.com for all of our pronunciation services, including memberships, including our daily Telegram program, where you send in files every day and get corrections from us. Mission English, where we meet twice a day in live stream classes. Visit Fluent. All right, looks like we're having technical issues. The best thing you can do is you can go to fluentamerican.com. And once you're at fluentamerican.com, you're going to see an option that says Telegram group kind of halfway down. That's, again, currently membership is $5 a month. So every single day you can get some pronunciation feedback from me. So we would love to help you out, get an idea of what you're actually doing from an actual native speaker who coaches this stuff. Because a lot of times if you ask like your native speaker friends, like, hey, am I saying this right? And they'll be like, it sounds a little strange. And you ask, well, why does it sound strange? And they'll be like, it just doesn't sound right. And that's not really helpful feedback. Okay, so let's take a look at our sentence here. So our sentence: the fiddler was a swindler snake handler. Oh my gosh. Okay, so anytime you have a sentence you're trying to practice to say, my biggest recommendation, start from the end and work forwards. Okay, so handler, handler, snake handler, snake handler. You want to stress snake, so you want snake to have a higher pitch. Snake handler, snake handler. Swindler, snake handler. Swindler, snake handler. Let's go to the beginning. The fiddler. The fiddler. The fiddler was a. The fiddler was a. Do you hear the pitch differences too? Fiddler was a. I'm not doing that pitch stuff for fun, guys. We have to have the pitch. Because if you don't have the pitch, all your words are going to run together. No one's going to understand you. So we need to have those pitch differences. Swindler was the fiddler was a swindler snake handler. The fiddler was a swindler snake handler. Can you say that 3 times? The fiddler was a swindler. No, you can't. The fiddler was a swindler snake handler. The fiddler was a swindler snake handler. The fiddler was a swindler snake handler. There we go. I got it done. Look at us. Okay. So, like I said, guys, in our pronunciation group, I'm going to be listening to people's files today to give them some suggestions. It would be great to have you in there too. So, I give you some feedback as well. Pronunciation is one of those things you got to study it a little bit every day. And it's even better if you can get some consistent feedback on that process. Thank you guys so much for joining me this Wednesday morning in New York time. My name is Jeff at Rise of Breath. We will talk to you again more right around this time tomorrow morning. Same time, same place. I will see you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good night. Good afternoon, you guys. Take care.